So there's this show called Squid Game that was recently put out on Netflix. I thought it would be pretty fun to remake Squid Game, and it definitely was. Anyways, here's how I turned Squid Game into an actual video game. Okay, so the first part of Squid Game is the characters. I hopped into Make Human and made some very rough drafts of the characters, then I threw them into Unity. Now that I had a character rigged in Unity, I wanted to add procedural animation, but there's one massive problem with procedural animation. I don't know how procedural animation works. So I guess I'll just have to learn. So you know how teachers say that learning is fun, right? Well, it definitely isn't. The farthest I got with procedural animation is this monstrosity, and this is a far cry from my original idea of running on top of other players. Then I realized all I want to do is add physics to my game, and I can do this with Cascadeur, a free physics-based animation software where you can make incredibly realistic animations. So I grabbed a reference image of a running cycle, threw it in Cascadeur, and then started animating my characters with it. The finished product was entertaining to say the least. Now my new physics-based animations are far superior to my old procedural animations, so I'm just gonna go with Cascadeur on this one. Now it's time to start programming. Firstly, I programmed a simple character controller that allows him to go over obstacles and whatnot. Then I added a blend tree that allows him to smoothly transition from idle to running. Now that I had the player movement and animations working, I had to do the same for the AI players. The premise of red light, green light is pretty simple. You move at green light and stop at red light. Unfortunately, I had to teach that to a computer. I came up with a pretty simple solution. If the AI isn't dead, it's going to check if the light is green. If it's green and the AI isn't currently running, then I'll set his running bool to true. When the running bool is true, the animator will transition from idle to running, and the AI will continue running until it hears red light. When the AI hears red light, it will create a stopping time variable that will be randomly generated. This variable can be anywhere between 0 seconds and 2 seconds. If it takes the AI longer than 1.4 seconds to stop, then it will be killed swiftly. I also added a simple mechanism so that all the failing AIs get off in intervals rather than all at once. If the AIs fail the game, their body will get hit in one of the predetermined strikeable locations. Then I used Unity's particle system to make particles gush from the hit location. I then disable the animator and activate the rigid body. It's a pretty decent system that works well. The only problem is the ragdoll, which is as consistent as my upload schedule. Now that I had most of the main game loop finished, I decided to add the giant doll. To do this, I had to 3D model her. While in the middle of 3D modeling, I thought, why not make it even more creepy? And voila, we now have something that actually rivals my Archer from when I remade Clash of Clans. Then I yeeted the giant doll into Unity. Now that she's in Unity, I programmed and animated her, and boom, the game's starting to come together.
Nice.
Then I realized that I had forgotten to add female characters to the game, so I hopped back into Cascadeur and began animating a female player. Now I know that I could just use Mixamo for free animations, but where's the fun in having non-stupid running animations? Now we have the giant doll, the player, the AI players, and even the scenery. But we're missing one pretty big thing. Can you guess what that big thing is?
Who's that Pokemon? It's...
If you guess the turrets, then you're spot on. How are we supposed to eliminate any of the players without any turrets? So I grabbed one of my old turrets that I made for a video a while back, threw it into Unity, animated it, programmed it, and voila, we now have a turret that tracks a randomly selected player. Now that I had all of these main components, I just added some boring tedious things, like the UI for the start menu, the post-processing, some more general touch-up, and voila, we now have a fully functioning game. Anyways, I now present to you Squid Game, but it's an actual video game.
NANI?!
첫 번째 게임은 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Six and a half hours later.
Why are you running? Why are you running? It's not fair! It's not fair!
Turning Squid Game into an actual video game was a lot of fun, but you probably have a lot of questions right now. Is this an actual playable game? Yes. Can I download it? Maybe. I'm gonna have to ask if I can release it, and I probably won't get an answer when this video comes out. If I can release it on itch or whatnot, then there will be a download link in the description. Anyways, see you guys next time.